All right, guys, Diego's going to tell you the story about what happened today at the auction. We're on day 2. Congratulations, you just bought a property the second day of the tax deed sale. What have you got in your hand there? You've got...
I've got the documentation that indicates to me what I'm supposed to pay the BOCC, which I guess stands for Broward County Commissioners, Board of County Commissioners.
And he's got 2 forms of payment here.
Yeah, a cashier's check and a personal check.
One for dock stamps, one for the final amount. So I was saying that Diego either would have got shot on the way back to the courthouse or lay down on the street with a heart attack. So he's going to tell you what happened at the beginning of the auction, what you guys were not privy to, all the madness going on. Go ahead, Diego, tell him.
So after receiving instructions from our fearless leader,
throw me under the bus, but yeah, it was my bad.
I said, so Sandra, what do I do? Go to the bank and get some cash, get some money, get some cashier's checks, money orders. She goes, oh, get cash. We're good with cash. So I went and got cash so I can give my 5%.
Of how much? 5%.
5%, which was $1,900 in total. So 7 or 8 minutes before 10 o'clock, the guy gets up and he says, okay, we're getting ready to do the next auction, or the auction's about to start, and make sure you have your cashier's or money orders available. And I said, he didn't say cash, so I said, and we were seated together, so I said, Sandra, he didn't say cash. So she says, oh, let me look at my notes.
Because I had the rules right there in front of me, so I was like, well, did you look at the rules? Let me look at the rules. And then that's when he went through
And so I said, okay, let me walk up and
but
ask him.
prior to that, sorry to interrupt him, we weren't even going to sit together.
Right, that's right. Early on, I was going to sit all the way in the beginning, or all the way in the front, so that they could see me. And she decided to sit all the way in the back. So I said, let me go follow her. So I sat right next to her, and that probably saved the day. Actually, a lot of things actually saved the day.
I was going to say, yeah, more than that.
So anyway, so I go up to the front, and he says, hey, cash not accepted. I come back, tell Sandra. And so she looks at her watch, I look at mine, and she says, well, go get the cashier's check. And I'm like,
it's like 2 or 3 minutes before 10 at that point.
yeah, so I'm like, I'm not going to make it. But I said, okay, what the heck? So I start, go downstairs. As soon as I hit the door, I start running. Oh, actually, I asked somebody where the closest bank was. So I start running to the bank, which was about a block and a half away. Get in, I'm breathing hard, panting, right? The guys probably got a little scared as to, when he saw me. And they said to me, so how can we help you? I said, I need a cashier's check or money order. And they said, great, no problem, just get in line. I said, no, I don't have time. And then they said, do you have an account with us? I said, well, no. She goes, well, we can't help you. I said, great.
Can you imagine that? You cannot buy a cashier's check or money order at a bank using
Right.
cash.
Now, I was panting. I probably looked a little scary. They probably didn't want to help me that much, right? So I said, where's the closest bank? She goes, well, there's no, she says, I said, where's Chase? That's my bank. She says, it's down on Federal, you have to hang a right. I said, how far down is Federal? She goes, 4 blocks. I said, okay, 4 blocks. All right, so I leave.
No, you go to another bank first.
I was headed towards Chase, but then I stopped at the second bank thinking maybe they'll help me.
Okay.
Same story, they wouldn't help me. Sorry, you don't have an account with us, blah, blah, blah.
Meanwhile, I'm texting him. The bidding's going on, and
My
you guys
butt is
know
vibrating.
that his is the 8th property on the list,
Right.
and the first 3 no bids.
Right.
The first
First
So-
4 no bids, because I'm texting him. First and second, first 1 no bids. We're on the second, and before I can hit send, they're already on the second. So I delete. Okay, first and second no bid. They're literally on to the 3rd. It's like we're in trouble.
And I can feel my butt vibrating, but I'm ignoring it because I'm running. So I'm going to, okay, yes, Sandra, yeah. So I keep running, get to my bank. There's no line. I get 2 cashier's checks because they had a max of 1,000 per money order. So I get one for 1,000, one for 900, and she says, "Oh, would you like those in an envelope?" I said, "No." And I literally was so rude. I was like, I'm out the door, and now I'm like, where am I? Because by now I've made so many different turns, right, to get to Chase that I was kind of turned around, right. So I'm like, GPS. I don't have time for GPS. Let's just start running in the general direction. And I didn't go down to the block and wait for the light. I didn't, go down the street. I cut through yards, cut through grass, sand, right? I'm thinking a cop's going to see me running from these banks, and he's going to tackle me or something, right? So finally she calls me, and I tell her I'm 2 blocks away. No, I'm one
One
block away.
So that's
but
when
I was
said,
actually,
I'm going to start bidding. At that point, I said, he's 1 block, I'll just bid for him.
but I was really 2 blocks away, which because I didn't know where I was. So I get to the entrance of the building. I had my card, so I'm running inside. So obviously, attracted attention. But I pulled out my card. She
His
saw
bidder
it,
number, his bidder number.
my bid number. So the security lady saw me. She goes, "Okay, you're good." So I said, "Okay, either I go up the elevator and pass out. I'm sorry, up the escalator and pass out because it was 4 flights of stairs, right? Or I take the elevator." So I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take the elevator." And as I was running, I'm like, "Yeah, okay, God, I get it. I don't need to buy this property. I'll wait for the next one." Is what I was thinking, right? So she calls me or texts. You call me again.
I call you because I've already put a bid, I think, of 19.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was 17, 18.
No, 17. You said
17. Right, 17. And I'm trying to find out what your max. I said, what's your number?
And I said 814. That was my number.
His
right?
bidder number.
My bidder number. She goes, no. What's your max? I said 21.
No, you said 20. And I
20,
said,
that's
they're
right.
on 20, because the lady had just put
That's
20.
right.
I put 19, she put 20.
And I said, okay, 21, no mas. No mas. And so I'm in the elevator. I go up. I walk in. I'm panting. I'm like, where's the room? Because I couldn't remember where the room was. So they're like, 422 is over there. So, boom. The security guard helped me. He opened the door.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He opens the door. I run in. And then you guys saw me. I run in. I'm panting. I've got my checks folded like this.
And as he's about to sit, because when he gave me the number and I put in the bid, it was like right at the last minute. I wasn't doing it on purpose. The last minute, going twice. I said 21. I'm like, oh God. I said, well, 2 things could happen here. Either he shows up with the money or I'm going to get banned because I have no money on me. I have no money to pay for this. So when Diego comes running in with the money, I'm literally pretending I'm buying time. And I'm looking in my bag for this check. So I take out my wallet and I give her my ID. Oh, that's not what you want?
I don't know what's going on. I'm just panting.
But I heard click on his end. Like I was still on the phone with you. I heard a click on his end, and it echoed because I heard a click here. So where I am, I heard a click, and he had the click. So I was like, he's in the same place. He's in the room. He's got to be coming in. And sure enough, you come in and you're sitting down, and she was about she was looking at me like,
Listen,
her eyebrows kind of raised, like, is there a problem here? And that's when I grabbed the check. And I was like, here it is.
and guys, I didn't walk. Okay, I did not walk because I thought if I walk, we're done. So I sit down. I'm panting, and give her the check, and so the bidder number is 812, but I was 814. So we kind of purchased the property together in that,
Teamwork.
we actually, it was a little teamwork, but
I didn't want him
that's
to lose it because it's my fault that he came in with the cash and not the cashier's check or money order.
So don't recommend it. Don't recommend to follow in those footsteps, but yeah, that's basically it.
But it would have been sad if he came in. I'm like, you lost it. Someone bid 20. I didn't want to go up any higher, so you got it.
Yeah.
Was it worth all that effort?
I think
All
so.
that trouble?
I think so, absolutely. Yeah.
He sat down. He could hardly breathe. He's right? Weren't you sweating and just?
Actually, I'll pass around my phone so you can see the condition. My condition. Took a quick picture. So. But don't recommend it. Don't do what I did. Bring a cashier's check or money order.
But you guys couldn't tell on your end, right? You didn't even know all the commotion.
I thought you were busy. You told me
I saw the
in
back of your
breakfast.
neck sweating when you
You
came
told me
in.
in breakfast I'm not even participating. And then we see you raising. I'm like, is she hiding me? What's she doing?
I had no plan to participate, but I'm always a always be safe type of person.
Absolutely.
So I was like, it's nothing. I'll just stand there and register. No big deal. And if I don't use it, I don't use it.
Yeah.
But I'll just register. And it's a good thing I registered. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to bid for him.
Exactly.
And then when it was time for me to bid, I was like, where's my number? And I was like, oh shit. I said, you know what? One of these people around here, excuse the profanity. I'm like, somebody here could have taken my number for all I know. I can't find my number for a minute. First I looked for his. I don't see his. It's like, where did I put my number? And I found it in my purse. And right as they started bidding, I found the number.
And this part you don't know. When we finally left the building, we couldn't pay because actually 145 is when they start allowing us to pay. So I leave the building. I get a call from the HOA. And the lady's like, so Diego, I haven't heard from you. So what did you decide to do? I said, actually, I bought the property. And she says, so what'd you pay for it? I said, well, $21,000. And she goes, oh, so you could tell that she kind of busted her bubble, but they're going to get their money. She may not get her $750 that she was charging as a finder's fee.
Catch him up real quickly on your conversations with the HOA prior to going in this, because the seller had actually contacted you. The lady that was losing the house contacted you because you sent letters
Right.
after doing the Saturday class.
Right, I sent letters after your Saturday class, 43 letters, got one response. It was this lady.
43 letters, one response.
Right.
That's good.
So a lot of licking, but the letters went out, got one response, and went to the lady's house, videotaped the apartment. It's I don't plan on doing anything to it. Maybe cleaning it when she decides to move out. And so she told me her story, and it's a sob story, and it's a sad story, but she had a lien for $20,000, which was really $30,000, and I found that out yesterday when the HOA called me, and I said, well, I'm not going to take it for $30,000. It's going to go to auction. You guys are going to lose it. And so the lady came back, and she haggled back and forth, brought it down to 26 and change. I said no, and brought it down to 24. That's the bottom line, Diego, 24. So we leave class yesterday, and I have a phone message from her on my cell phone, and she says, call me on my cell. So I did. I called her on her cell. And she says, Diego, I talked to the association again, and they're willing to go down to 15. So in a span of less than 24 hours, they went from 30 to 26 to 24, and we're not going down any lower, to 15. And then she says, but there's a caveat. I said, what's that? She goes, you have to pay $750 finder's fee. I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, I've been dealing with this property for a year. I got to get paid somehow. So I said, okay. If I decide to pay the $15,000, I'll pay the $750. But then overnight, at night, I started to think about, the fact that this is my first property, buying it through auction. Had nothing as far as a contract set up. Had no paperwork. All I had was, an HOA telling me that they would be willing to give it to me for $15,000. Nothing in writing. So talked to Sandra, and she says, well, you're wanting to buy a property in one day, no paperwork, basically, to back you up. So I thought, hey, if I go pay the taxes, which is the only way to stop the auction.
And it's your first deal.
And it's my first deal. There's no guarantee that the lady, as nice as she is, there's no guarantee that she's not going to say, hey, thanks, but I decided I'm not going to. Or the HOA. So there was too much risk. So at night, when I woke up in the morning, I decided that I wouldn't give the HOA the $15,000, but that instead I would just see what happens at the auction. And not in 1,000 years thinking that I was going to have to run to a bank to get money because my fearless leader had led me down the wrong path.
Diego, have you already paid the balance?
No, they wouldn't let me do it until 1:45, so I've got to go back.
You have to.
I have to go back. I have the check. Here it is.
145.
Because I don't know
Yeah.
if you paid attention because you were so tired. But during the auction today, they sold one in auction, and 10 minutes later,
Yes,
they told redeemed.
I was there. I heard that. I was like, yeah, I was there. I was like, hey, that's what happens. Yeah, I mean, I guess if the owner right now is at the tax collector's office, she could get her property back.
And literally, when we were walking in to go to the counter to pay, FedEx was just ahead of us. I was like, Diego, see FedEx right there? There's no loan, right?
But you know what?
Investor.
But you know what? I sat down with
Another
Luna.
investor could redeem it.
Yeah, another investor could redeem it.
I sat down with Luna and I said to her, I said, don't you have a brother, a sister, a family member, collect $5,000? Because, I could tell that she was in distress and she was, in a bad place. And she said, I've exhausted all of my possibilities.
And she cried, right?
She was crying. So I was going to give her between 5 and 10, depending on how low the HOA was going to go. But I mean, they were paying hardball. They went from 30 to 26 to 24, and in the end, they went to 15. They could have easily done that, from the get-go, or maybe even lower, and I probably would have done the deal with them, and not had the nice little jog this morning. So that's my story.
Good thing you didn't have heels, right? There was a